There's an update coming to Diablo Immortal with some details that you need to understand. The Crimson Behelit Vithu interaction is a bit messed up, and we have a response from Blizzard regarding that. The community's outraged, and gem duping may be back. I'm getting into all of these topics inside of this video, starting with the update that is incoming. So let's head on over to these patch notes and see what's going on. This patch is coming tomorrow for all of us in North America, and there are a small handful of things that are going to affect you and your accounts. First of all, we have the Matriarch's Retribution coming to the game. This is going to be all different game modes, as you could see: Conqueror, all clans on deck, Wild Brawl, and Shields of the Hearth 8-day event. Really, the main thing that we could take from this are the rewards that we will be receiving. Some things that are standout items are the 2 Telluric Pearls, the 2 legendary items, 4 set items. I like all those. 10 1-star legendary gems, and then you have all these other materials as well that can be valuable to your account. Again, activities and rewards that you get from participating in things inside of the game. Nothing that's the most exciting, but I always do like when I see I can have more rewards. Now, the feature updates. Challenge Dungeon combat rating changes. When entering a challenge dungeon, player combat rating will always be checked to prevent being grouped in a dungeon you cannot play. This is a big change. I don't know how many times I've been in challenge dungeons and I get partnered up, because I do random dungeon, with 2 players who are carrying a player that should not be inside of the dungeon. Now, I totally understand carrying players through so they could progress through the game, get enhanced rewards and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, especially if 2 players are being carried by 1, these experiences are very rough for the party as a whole. It can take 2, 3, 4 times as long to get through the dungeon. And as someone that's just doing random dungeon and happens to get paired with them, it's a bad experience. This is going to be a good fix right here to prevent that from happening. By the way, if you do want to carry people through dungeons or through activities inside of the game, I would always highly recommend that you don't do that in a mode or in a setting where other players will randomly join, because it's going to ruin that experience for them. Developers note on this: previously, if you were matched in a challenge dungeon within a zone, there was a chance you could be placed in a group that you didn't qualify for. This change should fix any instances where this could happen. Now, they also fixed something regarding kicking players from dungeons. I love this fix as well, because it could have been abused in the past. If someone didn't like a player that was in the dungeon, they could be kicked if the party all agreed upon it. But now, and the reasons for being kicked are AFK behavior, so basically just throwing it on follow and going through, or harassment, inappropriate remarks. But now, you can no longer be kicked if it was for AFK or inactive behavior. You can't be kicked if you have the second or first most damage in the party, because clearly you weren't being inactive if you have more damage than 2 of the other players. And you can't be kicked for harassment if you've never said anything inside of the chat. So it kind of cleaned things up right there, and takes away the opportunity for players to be able to take advantage of and just treat other players poorly by kicking them from the dungeons. I like the changes right there. The Spectral Allies in Infernal difficulty. You can now summon Spectral Allies in dungeons when in Infernal difficulty. Only the best allies would follow you into these lowest depths of hell. Monstrous Essence in the castle. An additional Heraldric Altar has been added to Kane's workshop near the gates for Abyssal Verge, Erebon, and Vanguard. So we know that I go down there all the time. This is basically in Deckard Cain's office down in the basement. You're going to be able to drop some Monstrous Essence there, because that is a great source of Monstrous Essence. So rather than having to go up all the way up top by the bounty board, you can do it right there. Get your Monstrous Essence in for the day. And canceling familiar expeditions. You could stop your pets mid-expedition if you want to. You don't have to let it play out. And this is actually good, because there have been times where I would send a familiar out for an expedition and then realize, shoot, I have 2 other familiars left on the sideline. I have no expeditions for them to be sent on, because I didn't know that this was going to be all filled up, if you know what I mean. And now I could cancel it, send all 3, and get that expedition done in less time. Those are all the changes coming right now with the small update that we'll be getting tomorrow. Again, nothing game changing, nothing crazy. We did just have the big update for the game, so now we are going to be having a more normal update. But it's been said, people have been talking about the Crimson Behelit gem and how it doesn't work with Vithus. You're not getting any of those beneficial effects that you get from Vithu when you're using the Crimson Behelit. Vithu being here, and as you can see right there, and Crimson Behelit being here. Now, we do have a response from Blizzard regarding this interaction because questions were asked over on Reddit, and here is the response. This is from the community manager, East Van Special. I do have to say, he is very much in touch with the forums, with the Reddit, and with us creators when we go and being part of the partner program, bring him issues that are going on. And he's asked, and the question that was asked to him here in the Reddit post, it actually wasn't asked to him, it was asked to the community, and he tuned in, or he chimed in. It was, is this ever going to work? Is the Vithus set gonna ever work with the Crimson Behelit gem? And he said, this is a good question, and the answer is maybe. From my understanding, the issue here is that Vithu and the Crimson Behelit was not intended to begin with and would be far more powerful than we were comfortable with. The synergy there would be kind of massive. The solution would be to replace the power of the Crimson Behelit, but that nerfs it across every build and punishes those not OP builds. The more likely solution would be to nerf Vithus, so that we can be more consistent with the application of the bonuses you receive from gems. Nerf Vithus, one of the best set items and the best green item sets in the game. So we are in this sticky place. Like others have mentioned, there are other gems that don't interact with Vithus, and while I understand the desire for consistency, we need to maintain balance, which is also required for a game like this, which is actually very tough. When you're looking at all of these different gems and all of these different pieces of gear and all of these different classes, balance is something that can be quite difficult. I am not making an excuse for Blizzard. They produced a game that is difficult to maintain balance within. It's part of their job to maintain balance as good as they can. And I think they are trying to do as best as they can, but as he mentioned, it's a difficult task. Now, many people responded to East Van Special's response, and a little bit more information came out here. Because this person says, are you mad? It's crazy, man. Don't mess with Vithu. Now, this person was obviously saying, Vithu is a great set item. Don't mess with it. Let's leave it alone. Don't mess with it just for this 2-star gem. And East Van Special's response is important here. He said, I didn't say we were. Just answering why it isn't working, and it probably won't. All right? So what he's saying is that would be the route to fixing the problem, but they're probably not going to do that. He can't give 100% either way because he probably doesn't know 100% either way. But what he's saying is, and what I'm getting from this is that most likely this interaction between the Behelit and Vithu, there's not going to be a change. That would be my anticipation and my thought there, because as he says right here, they think that it's going to be too OP comparing those two together. Now, having seen this person's this alternative mix, their response, it brings up another whole topic, and that is players are so angry inside of the game right now. Here's an example. I woke up this morning to this message. F Battle.net and everyone on Immortal, man. Murphers ought to be in jail and fully banned. Blank Battle.net, blank anyone supporting it now. So, this message, not disclosing who this is. I have received, many messages from this person, clearly dealing with an issue inside of the game that they don't feel is being fixed well. But this is a response of absolute frustration, someone that feels like they have no other thing to do but to voice it to someone like myself, which just brings up the point that, man, people are just so upset with so many different things inside of the game right now. It seems like it just keeps on building. And I mean, I guess what we could say is if you get banned from the game and you're upset because all of your stuff, all of your money, all of your investment is now removed and you just can't get it and you lost your money, I could see reason for being upset. If you're someone who's upset because of how a gem is not working with a piece of gear, then I would say just got to take a step back and take a breather, because at the end of the day, we are a community, myself included. I am not on the Blizzard team. We're a community of players who love playing the game. We can voice our suggestions, but the anger that comes across in our voicing suggestions definitely won't help these situations get fixed. The forum, the Reddit, I think it's a really great place for players like yourself to voice these types of concerns. We just need to do it in a way that is not going to make anyone feel like their back's against the wall or like they're being attacked, because that's not going to help the situation be solved. Again, do what you want. It's an open forum for people to say whatever they want. That's just my opinion on how I think we could be the most effective in those comms with them. For example, if I go to Blizzard with an issue inside of the game, if I were to go screaming at them and dropping F-bombs at them, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't listen much to what I had to say. And I'm also pretty sure I wouldn't be in their partner program anymore. But it's just, you get more out of it when you come with a constructive criticism than just yelling at people. And there's another topic, though, because a few days ago I was reached out to as well, and it was regarding the gem duping. Apparently, gem duping is back now. I am not an expert on gem duping. I have not done research on gem duping, but players that have mentioned that gem duping is back in our markets, and that it's ruining the market yet again. Again, I'm not sure what you guys are seeing in your servers. Every server is different. But if you have been seeing gem duping, please let me know in the comment section below. You guys can start a discussion there. And if Blizzard is watching, gem duping is being reported. Let's take a look into that to make sure that the market is not being completely trashed yet again. And as you can see right here, 20 hours, 39 minutes, and 36 seconds until that update that we discussed drops inside of Diablo Immortal. Again, you probably won't notice much of a change at all, but it's coming, and we'll see what happens. Hope you guys have a great day.